Alright my little penguins, let's get into day 20 of my countdown to Halloween. Today's tutorial is on Danny Devito's Penguin. This makeup was applied by the goddess herself, Miss Ve Neill. And the prosthetics were created by John Rosengrant and Shane Mahan with Stan Winston Studios. I started off by applying these eyebrow covers from Rubberwear. These are really awesome if you're trying to get rid of brow hairs. Any method that I've ever tried to cover my brow hairs, there's always a bit of texture left. They're super easy to apply. All you do is place a layer of pros-aide on the brow cover and then place it onto your brow. Next I'm going to apply this nose, which is also from Rubberwear. It's the large Aquiline nose. There is another nose that they have in their line called the small witch nose that would work really well for this as well. And I meant to pick that one up, but this is the one that I bought by accident, so I'm going to make it work. I'm just fitting that to my nose, and then I'm going to place a layer of pros-aide onto the center of my nose. And once that pros-aide is dry, I'm going to lay the prosthetic down. Then I'm going to glue down the rest of the nose using pros-aide. I like to apply a layer of pros-aide, then hold the prosthetic up until it dries, and then place it down into the pros-aide. To blend down the edges of the nose and the eyebrow covers, I'm going to be using a mixture of half spirit gum and half alcohol. This is a Dick Smith technique, and it really helps to blend down those thin edges. To remove any of the stickiness, I applied a layer of powder of the baby. Now we're going to be moving into painting the prosthetics. I'm going to be using PAX paint. PAX paint was also invented by Dick Smith. And it's a mixture of 50% acrylic paint and 50% pros-aide. And the reason you want to use PAX paint or rubber mask grease paint to paint prosthetics is because foam latex will suck the color out of pretty much any other makeup products. Another tip that you could do is to use just a layer of pros-aide to seal the foam, and then you can paint on top of that as well. I went ahead and set all the areas that I applied PAX paint with powder of the baby. The penguin's skin tone is a very pale flesh color, so I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation in shade 1.0. And I'm just stippling that on the skin with my beauty blender. I'm also applying that foundation onto the prosthetics as well, just to make them blend a little better. Next I set the foundation with my face powder. And then to prevent the skin tone from looking too flat, I spattered on a pale flesh color. This is from the Encore Undead palette. The penguin has a very dark burgundy red around his eyes, so I'm going to be mixing these two colors from the Cinema Secret stack. And with a flat shader brush, I'm going to be applying that color to the eye sockets. I was looking at a reference picture of the penguin for this, and it's very important to look at the shape. The top of his socket is very elongated and round, and the line extends down into the contour of his nose. So I'm just replicating that shape with the cream. Below the eye, I'm also applying that cream. The shape underneath the eye connects to the outer corner of the eye, and then it also connects to the inner corner of the nose contour. The eye sockets are very iconic for this character, so you want to constantly check in the mirror to make sure you're on the right track. I set the cream around the eyes with a burgundy matte shadow. Hi Ron! And I also ran that down the nose a bit. And right underneath the brow, I'm going to add a little more darkness, so I mixed in a black shadow. Next, I started the official nose contouring process, and this nose is definitely not ideal for the penguin. So I had to shade it quite a bit to make it appear thinner. And I started by shading the sides of it with an eyeshadow, and then I further defined it with that red cream that I used on my eyes. I also contoured the tip of the nose to make it appear more pointy. I defined the nostrils with the red cream paint again, and I made sure to look at the reference. Always follow your references, kids. And from those nostrils, I drew in the smile lines from the penguin and added a shadow underneath the nose. With the angled brush and a red cream, I drew in the furrowed brow lines. I don't know what these are called. I guess they're kind of wrinkles. They extend upwards from the socket in a rounded shape. Next, I took the same beauty blender that I applied my foundation with and went over the contour. This is going to mute down some of this contour and make it appear more skin-like. I did add in a few crow's feet that extend from the corner of the eye as well. To add a little contour to the face, I used a gray eyeshadow as well as the burgundy eyeshadow, and I contoured around the temple and also around the cheekbones. I applied a gray eyeliner to the bottom lid as well as to the waterline and also to the top lid. I drew in the lips using the dark purple from the Cinema Secret stack. And I drew them in using a filbert style brush. It's just a flat brush with a rounded tip. The penguin's lips are very thin and long, so I made sure to draw in a thinner set on my lips and then extend the lip line outwards towards my cheeks. One last detail I added was to draw in a couple of eye bags with a black eyeshadow and then deepen right underneath the brow. The hair was pretty simple. I just sprayed it with water and added a lot of mousse. Finally, I added this top hat that I found at a costume store in Burbank. And that, my little fishes, is going to wrap up this penguin makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can't believe it's day 20. It feels like the month just started. It's just insane to me that I've uploaded 20 videos in a month. That's just really crazy. Hopefully we make it to 31. And I'm going to need you guys to help me out a little bit if you want to leave some requests below in the comments for the upcoming days. I don't have all my days planned out. As a matter of fact, I have about 7 open days. So if anybody has any requests, leave them below. Otherwise, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up and subscribed if you haven't. And I thank you guys so much for watching these videos and hanging out with me this Halloween. With that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow.